The unexpected news Alex sat in his workshop. Ouch. Tools and wires were scattered everywhere. It had been a long day repairing machines for the human colony on the edge of space. He wiped sweat from his forehead and reached for his cup of cold coffee. Before he could take a sip, the door to his workshop burst open. Standing there was Lyra, tall, graceful, and covered in soft silver fur. Her bright yellow eyes burned with anger and fear. She was a member of the Luperians, a proud alien species known for their honor and strength. But today, Lyra did not look proud or strong. She looked upset, without warning. Lyra marched straight up to Alex's workbench. "You," she growled. "You got me pregnant, human." Alex froze. His coffee cup slipped from his hand, falling to the floor with a loud crash. "What?" he said, his voice shaking. Lyra leaned closer, her face inches from his. "You heard me, Alex. I am pregnant, and it's yours." Alex shook his head. "This must be a mistake," he said quickly. We never, Lyra narrowed her eyes. "It happened during the rescue mission," she said. "You saved my life. You pulled me from the wreckage. Our bodies, they connected somehow. It is a rare biological event among my kind. Your human DNA mixed with mine. Now I carry hybrid children, half human, half Luperian." Alex's mouth fell open. He remembered the rescue. 2 weeks ago, he had dragged Lyra from a crashed shuttle. She had been wounded, unconscious, but he had simply carried her to safety. There was no way this could mean. His thoughts were spinning. "You're telling me that just touching you was enough to cause this?" he asked. Lyra nodded slowly. For Luperians, deep contact during a moment of life and death can trigger bonding, she explained. "It is rare, but it is real, and now we are bound, and I am carrying your puppies." Alex sat down heavily on his chair. "Puppies," he repeated weakly. Lyra crossed her arms. "Yes, puppies. That is what we call our young." The room was silent for a long moment. Alex tried to breathe. This was insane. How could this happen? Why him? Then Lyra spoke again, her voice softer now. "In my culture, the father must stay with the mother until the birth." She said, "You must come with me, Alex. My people will expect it." Alex rubbed his face. "I don't even understand what's happening," he said. "But why would I go with you?" "This isn't my fault." Lyra's eyes glowed fiercely. "Your human DNA is in these children. That makes them yours too. And there's more," she added. "My clan will come for you if you refuse. They will not accept a dishonorable father. You have no choice." Alex felt his heart racing. He imagined a group of angry Luperian warriors storming into his workshop. He knew enough about their culture to know they took family and honor very seriously. If Lyra said they would come for him, they would. Suddenly, the door opened again. Alex's friend Maria peeked inside. "Hey Alex, is everything okay?" "I heard shouting," she said. Before Alex could answer, Lyra turned toward Maria and spoke calmly. "He got me pregnant. We are having puppies." Maria's eyes widened. She stared at Alex, then back at Lyra. "I'll leave you two alone," Maria said quickly, closing the door. Alex groaned. "This can't be happening," he whispered. But Lyra stepped closer, her voice low and serious. "It is happening, Alex. You must accept it. Come with me. My clan must meet you. They must see that you will stand with me. If you do not, they will come and take you by force." Alex felt trapped. But looking into Lyra's bright eyes, he also saw something else. Fear. She was afraid too, afraid of her people's judgment, afraid of what would happen if Alex refused. He took a deep breath. "All right," he said softly. "I'll come with you. But you need to explain everything, all of it, because I don't know anything about alien puppies." Lyra gave a small, tired smile. "That is fair," she said. "I will tell you everything on the way outside." The sky over the colony was darkening. Alex knew his life was about to change forever. He didn't know how, but one thing was clear. He was now part of a story stranger than anything he could have imagined. And so, with a sigh and a sense of dread mixed with curiosity, Alex followed Lyra out of the workshop and into the unknown. His journey with the alien who claimed to carry his children had begun. A strange connection. The air outside was cool as... Alex followed Lyra through the streets of the colony. Lights flickered in the distance. People turned their heads as they passed. A human walking beside a tall alien was not something they saw every day, but Alex hardly noticed them. His mind was spinning. He was still trying to understand how this had happened. Lyra walked with purpose. Her silver fur shimmered under the dim lights. Her long tail flicked nervously. She glanced back at Alex from time to time, checking that he was keeping up. Finally, they stopped near the colony's edge. A small shuttle stood waiting, its engine humming softly. "This will take us to my village," Lyra said. Alex hesitated. Before he could speak, Lyra raised a hand. "I promised I would explain everything," she said calmly. "Sit with me and listen, Alex. You need to understand what you have done inside the shuttle." They sat face to face. Lyra began her story. She explained how her species, the Luperians, had unique biology. Their ancestors had evolved from creatures not unlike wolves. For them, survival was tied to bonds, physical, emotional, even biological, during the rescue mission. When Alex had pulled her from the wreckage, something rare had occurred. Their skin had touched at that moment. Lyra had been near death, her body fighting to survive. Her biology had reacted, seeking a connection, a bond strong enough to save her. In that moment of life and death, her body had accepted Alex's DNA. "It is something that happens only during extreme conditions," Lyra said, her voice quiet but steady. "For my people, it is not just biology. It is a sacred connection when it happens. It means the two are bound for life." Alex listened in silence. It sounded impossible, like a fairy tale or a bad dream, but the look in Lyra's eyes told him it was all true. He rubbed his face, trying to make sense of it. "So, you're saying that just by saving you, I somehow became the father of alien puppies?" he asked slowly. Lyra gave a small nod. "Yes, your DNA mixed with mine. The children will be part human, part Luperian. This is rare, Alex, very rare. My people will see them as a symbol of hope, but also, some will see them as dangerous." Alex leaned back in his seat. "This is crazy," he whispered. "Why me?" "I didn't ask for this." Lyra's gaze softened. "Neither did I," she admitted. "But we must face this together now. In my culture, if the father walks away, it brings shame not only to the mother, but to the entire clan." Alex felt trapped. He thought about running, about going back to his quiet workshop and forgetting all of this. But deep down, he knew there was no going back. If what Lyra said was true, this connection had already been made. He could not undo it. He looked out the shuttle window. The stars stretched across the dark sky. Somewhere out there, people were fighting wars, trading goods, building worlds, and here he was, sitting beside an alien woman who claimed they were having puppies together. His life had taken a strange turn, but part of him felt something else too. Curiosity, he turned back to Lyra. "What do your people expect of me exactly?" he asked. Lyra smiled faintly. "They expect you to stay with me, protect me, help me through the pregnancy. And when the puppies are born, you will help raise them." Alex swallowed hard. "Raise them?" he repeated. Lyra nodded. "Yes. In my culture, the father's presence shapes the spirit of the young. It is very important." The shuttle jolted as it left the ground. The colony shrank beneath them as they flew toward Lyra's village. Alex stared at the stars and took a deep breath. His life would never be the same, but as strange and terrifying as this was, A part of him knew he could not turn away. He would have to face this new future, alien puppies and all. Beside him, Lyra watched quietly, though her face was calm. Her eyes revealed her own fear and uncertainty. They were both stepping into the unknown, and for the first time, they would have to trust each other completely. Alien customs and human fears, the shuttle landed softly in the heart of Lyra's village. Alex stepped out and stared in awe. The village was unlike anything he had seen before. Strange glowing stones lit the paths, tall wooden towers rose into the sky, wrapped in vines and silver banners. Dozens of Luperians stood waiting, their fur shining under the pale moonlight. Their golden eyes followed Alex's every move, some curious, some cold, some filled with suspicion. Lyra stepped forward and raised her hand. She spoke loudly in her language. Alex didn't understand her words, but he could feel the tension in the air. This was not a welcome party. This was a test. The elder of the village, an old Luperian with deep scars on his face, stepped forward. He looked at Lyra, then at Alex. Finally, he spoke in slow, careful English. "So, this is the human father." Alex's throat went dry. He managed a small nod. "Yes, I'm Alex," he said, his voice quiet. The elder's gaze was sharp. "You have caused something rare." "Human," he said. "You bonded with Lyra during her rescue. You now share her path. According to our laws, you must stay by her side until the birth of your puppies." The words still sounded strange to Alex's ears. Puppies. He was going to have alien puppies. The elder continued, "But this is not enough. You must show honor. You must complete the trial of protection. Only then will our clan accept you as the father." Alex's heart sank. "Trial?" he asked. Lyra stepped close and whispered, "It is a test to prove you can protect me and our children. It is dangerous, but it is our way." Before Alex could respond, a loud voice interrupted. Another Luperian stepped out from the crowd. He was younger, larger, and his eyes burned with anger. "This human is weak," he shouted. "He is not worthy of Lyra or the puppies. Let me take his place. Let me be the father." Gasps spread through the crowd. Alex felt his stomach twist. Was this real? Could someone just challenge him and take his place? The elder raised his hand for silence. "The law allows a challenge," he said slowly. "But first, the human must face the trial. If he fails, then another may claim the right." Lyra's face was tense but calm. She placed her hand gently on Alex's shoulder. "I will explain," she whispered. "The trial of protection is a journey into the wilds. You must survive for 3 nights. Alone. If you return alive, you will prove your worth." Alex felt panic rising. He wasn't a warrior. He was an engineer. He fixed machines. He had never survived in alien forests before. He looked at Lyra. I can't do this," he whispered. But her gaze was steady. "You can," she said simply. "Because our children's future depends on it. If you fail, I will lose you and them. They will take them from me." The crowd watched in silence. Alex felt their judgment. He could see their doubt, their dislike. But he could also see hope in Lyra's eyes. His mind raced. Could he really do this? 3 nights alone in alien wilderness, no tools, no help. But if he refused, if he failed? The thought of leaving Lyra alone, of losing the puppies he hadn't even met yet, it struck him deeper than he expected. He took a shaky breath and spoke clearly. "I accept the trial," he said. A murmur spread through the crowd. Even the angry challenger fell silent for a moment. The elder nodded slowly. "Then at sunrise, you will begin," he declared. "You will enter the wilds with nothing but your courage." Lyra turned to Alex. "Thank you," she whispered softly. Her hand squeezed his gently, despite his fear. Alex felt a strange calm inside. This was madness, but it was his madness. Now, As the Luperians began their preparations for the trial, Alex sat quietly under the stars, his mind full of questions, doubts, and fears. But also something new resolve. He would face this strange challenge for Lyra, for the puppies, and maybe for himself. Enemies and threats. The sky turned deep blue as dawn approached. Alex sat near a fire at the edge of the village. His heart pounded with fear and doubt. In just a short time, he would be sent into the wilds alone for 3 nights. But even before the trial could begin, danger was already closing in, hidden in the shadows. A group of angry Luperians watched him. They whispered among themselves. They hated the idea of a human father. They believed the puppies would be a threat to their traditions and purity. Their leader was the young, angry challenger from the night before. His name was Tarek. His yellow eyes burned with jealousy and pride. This human must not succeed. Tarek growled quietly to his followers. He is weak if the trial doesn't kill him. We will. Inside the elder's hut, Lyra sat alone. Her mind was full of worry. She knew how dangerous the wilds could be. Strange beasts roamed the dark forests. Even her own people could be dangerous. She feared that Alex would be hurt, or worse, by those who refused to accept their bond. Outside, the elder approached Alex. "It is time," he said. He handed Alex a simple knife, the only tool allowed for the trial. "You may take no food, no water, no weapons. Survive. On your skill and courage alone, return after 3 nights. Only then will we accept you as the father." Alex's hands trembled as he accepted the knife. He looked back at the village one last time. His eyes met Lyra's through the doorway of the hut. Her gaze was strong but filled with silent worry. Without another word, Alex stepped into the forest. Tall, dark trees rose above him. Strange calls echoed through the thick air. The forest floor was soft with moss and glowing fungi. Every sound made Alex jump. He was no warrior. He was just a man trying to survive an impossible test. As the sun rose higher, he searched for water and shelter. He used the knife to cut branches and build a small lean-to. He remembered old survival lessons he had once read in books, but books didn't prepare him for the strange alien creatures watching him from the shadows. Suddenly, he heard a branch snap. Alex froze. Slowly, he turned and saw a pair of glowing yellow eyes staring at him. It was not a beast, it was Tarek. Behind him stood 2 other Luperians, all armed with sharp spears. "You should not be here, human," Tarek snarled. "You will not pass this trial. We will make sure of it." Alex's heart raced. This was no longer just a test of survival. This was an ambush. If they killed him now, they could claim he died by accident. No one would question it. The forest was known to be dangerous, but Alex didn't run. Instead, he raised his hands slowly. "Why do you hate me so much?" he asked. His voice was shaking but honest. "I didn't ask for this. I never planned to bond with Lyra, but it happened. Now I'm here, trying to do what's right." Tarek stepped closer, his spear pointed at Alex's chest. "You do not belong here. You are not one of us," he growled. Alex looked straight into his eyes. "Maybe not," he said quietly. "But those puppies will be part of both our worlds. Whether you like it or not, killing me won't change that. It will only make you a murderer." For a moment, Tarek hesitated. His spear wavered, but one of his followers snarled and stepped forward, ready to attack. Alex knew he had no choice in one swift move. He ducked and grabbed a branch from the ground. He swung it hard, knocking the spear aside. Then he turned and ran deeper into the forest. Branches scratched his face. His breath burned in his chest, but he kept running. Behind him, Tarek's angry shouts echoed through the trees. Alex didn't know where he was going, but he knew he had to survive. Not just for himself, but for Lyra, for the puppies he hadn't even met yet. As night fell, he found a cave hidden behind thick vines. He crawled inside, shaking and tired. He could still hear distant voices searching for him. But for now, he was safe. He sat in the darkness, holding the simple knife tightly. His mind was full of fear, but also determination. If he could survive this night, if he could last 3 nights, he would prove to Lyra and to everyone that he was worthy, and no one, not even Tarek, would stop him. A growing bantha cave was cold and dark. Alex sat with his back against the wall, clutching the small knife tightly. Outside, he could hear footsteps, soft and careful. Tarek and his followers were still hunting him. But for now, the cave kept him hidden. As the hours passed, Alex thought about everything that had brought him here. He had lived a simple life on the colony. He fixed machines, repaired tools, and drank too much coffee. Now he was hiding in an alien forest, being hunted by warriors, all because of an accident or maybe fate. But something inside Alex had changed when he first heard the news about Lyra's pregnancy. He wanted to run. It felt too strange, too impossible. But now, he felt something different. The memory of Lyra's eyes watching him before he left the village stayed in his mind. There was trust in her gaze, and hope, and something else, fear. She was counting on him. By the second night, Alex knew he couldn't just think of this as their problem anymore. He was part of it. Those puppies, strange as it sounded, were his responsibility too. He left the cave before dawn, moving carefully through the trees. His clothes were torn, his face scratched. But his determination was stronger. He found berries and strange plants. He remembered what Lyra had taught him before he left, what was safe to eat and what was not. Alex even smiled a little. He had laughed at her lesson at first, but now her knowledge was keeping him alive. In a strange way, they were already connected. Even far from each other, Lyra's guidance was helping him survive that afternoon. As Alex searched for water near a small stream, he heard movement behind him. He spun around quickly, knife ready. But it wasn't Tarek this time. It was a small creature, soft, furry, with big yellow eyes. It looked like a baby Luparian animal. Curious and harmless, the creature sniffed at Alex's boot and let out a soft chirp for the first time in 2 days. Alex laughed. It was a small moment, but it felt important. Even in this dangerous forest, there was life, innocent life. He crouched down, letting the creature climb onto his lap. He gently stroked its fur. In that moment, Alex realized something deep. This strange bond with Lyra and the unborn puppies. It wasn't something to run from anymore. It was something to protect that night. Alex sat by the stream and thought about Lyra, how strong she had been, facing her people's judgment, how calm she stayed, even when he was confused and afraid. She was not just an alien. She was brave, proud, and carrying something precious. Their puppies. Alex whispered to himself, "I'll come back to you, Lyra. I'll protect you and them, I promise." But danger was still near, hidden in the shadows. Tarek watched silently. He could see that Alex had survived the second night. He was angry, but also impressed. This human had lasted longer than he expected. But Tarek was not ready to give up. As the third night approached, the forest grew darker. The sounds of creatures in the distance became louder. The wind howled through the trees, but Alex felt calm inside. His fear was still there, but so was a new strength. His bond with Lyra was growing stronger, even across this distance. He no longer thought of her as just an alien who needed help. She was his partner now. Their lives were tied together. And soon the puppies would arrive. Strange, wild, beautiful puppies, part human, part Luparian. They would need him too. Alex wrapped himself in branches and leaves for warmth. He looked up at the sky, filled with unfamiliar stars. Somewhere out there, Lyra was waiting. Her village was watching. And enemies like Tarek still wanted him gone. But Alex was ready. He was not going to fail. he would finish this trial and return to her side, because this strange connection had become something real. A growing bond that neither time nor danger could break. The birth and the battle the third night in the forest was the darkest yet. The stars above seemed dim. The wind roared through the tall alien trees. Alex sat quietly near his small fire, his knife resting on his lap. His body was tired, scratched, and hungry. But his mind was clear. Tomorrow morning he would return to the village and complete the trial. He would prove himself to Lyra and to her people. But fate had other plans. Suddenly, a strange sound echoed in the distance, not the howl of wild creatures, not the footsteps of Tarek and his followers. This sound was different, urgent, and familiar. A voice crackled through the tiny communicator hidden in Alex's belt pouch. It was Lyra's voice, soft but filled with fear. "Alex, it's happening. The birth has started," she whispered. Her breathing was heavy. Alex's heart jumped. The puppies were coming. But Lyra was alone in the village, and she sounded afraid. Alex stood quickly. He had a choice to make: stay and finish the trial, or return immediately to Lyra's side. He didn't hesitate. He picked up his knife and began running through the forest. Branches tore at his clothes. The wind whipped against his face. But nothing could stop him now. Behind him, Tarek appeared from the shadows. His eyes glowed with anger. He followed, silently, ready for his last chance to stop the human. By the time Alex reached the edge of the village, dawn was breaking. The guards at the gate looked shocked to see him return early. Before they could speak, Alex shouted, "Where's Lyra?" "I have to see her now." The elder stepped forward, his face unreadable. "She is in the birthing house," he said, "but you have not completed the trial." Alex shook his head. "That doesn't matter now," he said firmly. "She needs me," without waiting for permission. Alex ran toward the birthing house inside. Lyra lay on a soft bed of woven vines, her silver fur damp with sweat, her breathing quick and shallow. Her yellow eyes widened when she saw Alex enter, but there was relief too. "You came back," she whispered. Alex knelt beside her. "I'm here," he said softly. "I won't leave you. Not now, not ever." But as he spoke, a loud crash shook the building. Tarek burst through the door, his spear raised high, his face twisted in rage. "The trial is not over," he roared. "You cannot claim fatherhood. You must die, human." The elders and villagers gathered outside. They watched in silence, unsure whether to interfere. According to their laws, a challenge during the trial could only be settled between the two. Alex rose slowly, placing himself between Lyra and Tarek. His hands were empty except for the simple knife. Tarek lunged forward. Alex sidestepped quickly, narrowly avoiding the spear's deadly tip. Their fight was fierce but fast. Tarek was strong, his movements wild and angry, but Alex was calm. He fought not with skill, but with determination. Every time Tarek swung his spear, Alex remembered why he was fighting. He thought of Lyra lying behind him, of the puppies about to be born, of the bond they shared, unexpected but real. Finally, as Tarek charged again, Alex stepped aside one. Last time, he swung the knife and knocked the spear from Tarek's hands. The spear clattered to the ground. Alex didn't attack. He stood firm, his chest rising and falling with heavy breaths. His voice was steady when he spoke. "I don't care about your pride, Tarek," he said. "I care about Lyra. I care about the puppies. I'm staying whether you like it or not." Tarek stared at him, his anger fading slowly at last. He lowered his head and stepped back. The elders nodded quietly. The fight was over. Alex turned back to Lyra and knelt at her side. Her breathing slowed as she gripped his hand tightly together. They welcomed the first of their children into the world. One by one, 5 tiny puppies were born. Their soft fur was a perfect mix. Of silver and human skin tones, their small eyes opened for the first time. They let out soft cries that filled the room. The villagers watched in silence. The puppies were unlike anything they had seen before. But there was no denying it. They were beautiful. The elder stepped forward and spoke loudly. "Let it be known, this human has proven his honor." He stood by Lyra's side. He protected her. He is the father of these young. Alex felt tears fill his eyes as he held one of the newborns gently in his arms. Lyra smiled weakly beside him. "You did it, Alex," she whispered. Alex smiled back. "We did it," he said softly. Outside, the sun rose fully, bathing the village in golden light. The battle was over. The puppies were here, and a new chapter was just beginning. A new family. The sun rose higher over the Luperian village. A soft breeze moved through the trees inside the birthing house. Alex sat beside Lyra. 5 tiny puppies lay curled between them, their soft cries filling the quiet room. The villagers gathered outside. They watched silently. Some were still unsure. Others looked with curiosity and wonder. But all of them could see one thing clearly. Something had changed. Alex gently picked up one of the puppies. Its fur was soft, a strange but beautiful mix of silver and human tones. Its small fingers wrapped around his thumb. His heart swelled in his chest. He had never imagined he would feel this way. But here he was, holding a life that was part of him and part of Lyra. Lyra leaned her head against his shoulder. "You have proven yourself," she whispered. "You came back when you could have stayed away. You protected me even when the village doubted you. You fought for our children." Alex smiled gently. "It wasn't about proving anything," he said softly. "It was about doing what's right. About being here for you and them." The elder stepped forward. His face was solemn, but his voice was strong. "Today, we welcome a new family in two. Our clan," he declared. "The children of Lyra and Alex will be honored. They will be a symbol of hope, a bridge between two worlds." A quiet murmur spread through the crowd. Some bowed their heads in respect. Others stepped forward to offer simple gifts: blankets, small carved toys, baskets of fruit. Even Tarek appeared. His head lowered in humility. He knelt before Alex and Lyra. "I was wrong," he said quietly. "You have shown courage, human. I will protect these young as my own kin." Alex nodded. There was no anger left in his heart, only gratitude. As the day went on, the villagers gathered around. They reached out gently to touch the newborns, their curiosity slowly turning to warmth. For the first time, the barriers between human and Luperian began to crumble that night. A great fire was lit in the center of the village. The villagers danced and sang in celebration. Alex sat beside Lyra, cradling 2 of the puppies in his arms. Lyra smiled at him, her golden eyes glowing softly in the firelight. "We will raise them together," she said. "They will be part of both our worlds." Alex felt peace settle in his heart. His journey had started with confusion, fear, and disbelief, but it had led him here, to a place of belonging. He had become more than just a visitor in this alien world. He had become a father, a partner, and part of a new family, as the stars filled the night sky. The puppies slept quietly between them. Alex looked up and whispered, "This is home now." Beside him, Lyra rested her hand on his. Their bond had begun by accident, or maybe by fate, but it had grown into something powerful. Something real love in the heart of the Luperian village, under the glowing stars, a human, an alien. And their puppies became a family. Their story would be told for generations, a story of courage, trust, and the bond that could unite 2 worlds.